Unit 8.1, 2D arrays. In this unit, we only have two, so we know 8.1 and 8.2, pretty quick. 2D arrays. We're going to do creating them, regular, irregular. Irregular is not on the AP exam, but I'll show this to you just so you could see they exist. The rectangular one is though. We're going to show dimensions. We're going to do row major order and column major order. We're going to do some extraction. How do you extract a 1D array from a 2D array? And we're going to do the printing of the 1D array. So let me just show the print first. Okay, so here's the print of the 1D array. Clearly, in order to do this unit, I've already created my unit 8 package and I've imported the random because I'm going to do a random number generator. And I have a class and I'll be working in my main method. I'll add some methods after, but it's the first one. Print 1D array. Looks fancy because it's going to open with this nice square bracket, close with 1, put commas in between unless I'm at the end. So it's going to look a little nice, pretty print here for the array. And we're going to use this to print any 1D array that we come across. Okay, so we're going to jump right in and create a 2D array. The first way to make it is by doing this. This is an array of integers. I'm going to keep integers because it's nice and simple, but any type can be here. So right now, it's a 3 by 3. 3 rows, 3 columns. Rows always first. Rows always first. 3 rows by 3 columns. So this 3 by 3 here happens to be a square, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a 3. It could be any two integers here, positive numbers. So, 2 by 4, 6 by 3, something like that. All right, now once we do this, one of the first things you're going to be asked is what's the dimensions? Obviously, it's a 3 by 3, that's the dimension. But how do you get that in code? Array.length, that's the number of rows. That's how many rows. So if you know an array, 2D array exists. If you do dot length, it'll tell you how many rows it has. Array 0 dot length will tell you how many columns it has. Now, array 0 dot length works only because we're dealing with rectangular ones. I'll show you irregular one later. But the rectangular, these two are always the right way to go. And this is the one you're doing, so no need to worry about the irregular. I'll speak about this a little bit so we could see what the difference is in terms of how we get the length. So now we're going to extract. That's my dimensions up here. Time to extract. How do you extract? The name of the 2D array and one box, okay? One box for the 1D array. And the index in here tells you which row it is. So this is the first row. First, because every time a computer counts, it starts at 0. So 0 is the first one, 1 is the second, 2 is the third. If you look at the right side over here, you would see that this is how this array looks because we didn't put any values in. It's going to be filled with zeros. All right, here's a print, and then here's another way to make them. This is making an array that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is the first row. Row 0, row 1, row 2. Coming down, column 0, column 1, column 2. How do you make this? Like that. You can say int array, this is the second one, 2, make sure you have 2 of these, equals, and then you have an open curly, a closed one, and then inside you can see the rows. This is the first row, this is the second row, and this is the third row. How does it work? Well, if you want to get to the values in the row, you just array to 0, 0, that's 1. Array to 0, 1, that's 2. How am I getting this? The 0th row, the 0th column. Remember, row in horizontal, columns vertical. So this will be row 0, column 0. This one will be row 0, column 1. That's why it's 0, 1. Row 0, column 2. This one is gone to the second row now. So row 1, column 0, row 1, column 1, row 1, column 2, and then row 2, column 0, row 2, column 1, row 2, column 2. So that's how we get all these values. So if I do array 2, 2, 2, you'll get me 9. Now if you look over here, I've changed these values up here to the new arrays down here. Something I want to pay attention to here. We do not do this again. Okay, that's a mistake. Only when we are creating it the first time do we need this box to say this is an array. Once we already make it as an array and we're doing a new assignment, like putting a new array to override what's there before, no need for these. If you're overriding, no need to put that back, only the first time. So we'll do a couple of prints there. In a second, I'll print them to see how they look, just to make sure that we get all zeros. And we're going to see what we get down here as well. Okay. So array 3, this is the irregular one. We're not going to necessarily print this, but I'll actually just speak about what goes on here. So this is the first row. See, first row only has 2 things, but the second row, which is row 0, okay, row 0 has 1, 2, and the other row has 4 things, and then the next row has 3 things. People call them jagged. Okay, so it's gonna look like this: 1, 2, then the next one 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the next one 7, 8, 9. This we cannot say array 0 dot length, because if we do array 0 dot length, we're only going to be talking about the length of the first row. So when we come down here, it'll be too small, because this is 2, that's the length. This is 4. So if I were to do something with this, I would only be doing, if I do array 0 dot length on this row, it would get me only the first 2. So in that case, then we need some kind of index that tells me which row I'm in. So we're going to do array I dot length, I being whichever row we are in. So if I'm in this row, it's 0, and if I'm in this row, it's 1, and if I'm in this row, it's 2, and then I'll get the right length for each row. Okay, and I know you may be saying, why are you saying the length of the row? Isn't this the length of the row? Yes, but the length of the row is how many columns there are. Let me get that sinking in. For each row, the length of the row is how many columns there are. It's kind of weird to think that way, but this has 4 things in the row. That means it has 0 column, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so this one is not tested, so no need to worry about this one too much, but just know it does exist. Okay, so what we're going to do now is just print these to see how they look. So let me do a print here, system.out.print. I want to print new line. I want to do a number of these prints, so let me just copy this. I want to do 3 of them here, and then eventually we're going to do 3 down here as well. So before I start off I'm printing these, let me turn these off, because clearly I don't want to print these yet. I just want to print the ones at the top. So I'm going to print the array. Well, since I do a system.out.print and I want to print the array, I could try doing row 0, right? And see what I get. And I try to run it, and what do I get? Not what I want. Yeah, see, this is some kind of @ symbol something. And again, we got the rows and the columns up here, 3, 3, but this is not what we want. No, no, no. We want to print the actual contents in the array. So why don't we call the method up here? Now, this is a static method. That means I need to call unit8.print. So let's see. We don't want to print like this. No, 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 no. We want to do unit8.print. And then I'm going to put in row 0. Okay. Well, let's just run that for now and just see that one print. See? That's the first one. Obviously, if I did the other ones, you will see that they're all going to be the same. So let me go ahead and do a couple of that. So this is row 1 and row 2. And I'm extracting off the rows. So this is the entire 2D array over here. And I could figure out how to get just that first row by using this statement. All right, so there's how the actual 3 by 3 on top looks. So why don't we do that again down here, right? Why don't we do that again? So why don't we print these one more time? Because down here it changes, right? And since it's going to change, let's go ahead and undo this. we're going to overwrite the zeros on top and put in actual numbers. So let's see how that looks. Let me just clean this up nicely and then run it. We should get the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, see? And we got that because we assigned the new values to this, and then we print again. So these are the arrays we're going to be working with. Nice rectangular ones. So let's just do a quick recap. Number of rows, dot length. Number of columns, array 0, dot length. The arrays are 2D arrays. You could extract a particular row, which is an array, okay? Because remember, 2D array is the entire thing here. So kind of looking like this, like a table. So if I want to take out this row, I could extract it like this. I can then write an algorithm on a single 1D array when I extract it if I wanted to. Just like I printed it just now. I could do whatever we want with it. Algorithms on these 2D arrays is what's coming up next in 8.2. For now, that brings us to the end of 8.1.